The wrestling world just exploded with controversy, and you're not going to believe what happened when Paul Heyman finally broke his silence about the brutal attack that left everyone talking. If you enjoy explosive wrestling drama and want to stay updated on all the shocking developments, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now because things are about to get absolutely wild. Monday Night Raw delivered one of the most talked about moments in recent memory when Bron Breakker launched a vicious assault on a rising star that nobody saw coming. The attack was so brutal and so unexpected that it sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling community. Fans were left stunned as they watched the chaos unfold right before their eyes. Social media platforms immediately lit up with reactions from every corner of the wrestling universe. Everyone had something to say about what went down, but there was one voice that everyone was waiting to hear from. The legendary Paul Heyman had remained silent since the attack occurred, and the anticipation for his response was building to unprecedented levels. Paul Heyman is not just any manager or advocate in the wrestling business. This man has been a mastermind behind some of the most influential moments in professional wrestling history. His ability to craft words into weapons is unmatched. When Heyman speaks, the entire industry stops to listen because they know that whatever comes out of his mouth will be nothing short of extraordinary. His track record speaks for itself, and his influence extends far beyond what most people can even comprehend. From his days revolutionizing Extreme Wrestling to his time managing the biggest names in the sport, Heyman has always been several steps ahead of everyone else. The attack itself happened during a segment that was supposed to be routine. Reed was scheduled for a standard appearance on Raw when suddenly everything went sideways. Bron Breakker emerged from nowhere with intensity that caught everyone off guard. The assault was relentless and calculated. Breakker showed no mercy as he dismantled Reed in front of the live audience and millions watching at home. Security personnel struggled to intervene as Breakker continued his onslaught with determination that bordered on obsession. The crowd's reaction shifted from excitement to genuine concern as the attack prolonged beyond what anyone expected. What made this situation even more complicated was the timing of everything. Reed had been gaining significant momentum in recent weeks. His performances were earning praise from critics and fans alike. The trajectory of his career was pointing straight up, and many insiders were predicting big things for his future. This attack threatened to derail all of that progress. The question on everyone's mind was why Breakker chose this particular moment to strike. Was it jealousy? Was it strategy? Was there something else going on behind the scenes that nobody knew about? The lack of immediate explanation only fueled more speculation and debate. Bron Breakker himself is no stranger to making bold statements inside the squared circle. Coming from one of wrestling's most legendary families, the pressure on him has always been immense. He carries a legacy that few can truly understand. His physical prowess and athletic ability are undeniable. Since arriving on the main roster, Breakker has been on a mission to prove that he belongs at the top of the card. His aggressive style and no-nonsense attitude have earned him both admirers and critics. Some view him as the future of the industry, while others question his methods and approach. The connection between Paul Heyman and this situation runs deeper than most people realize. Heyman has his fingers in many pots throughout the wrestling landscape. His strategic mind is always working and calculating several moves ahead. While he may not have been directly involved with Reed before this incident, his response to the attack carries weight that extends throughout the entire organization. When Heyman chooses to address something publicly, it means he has a vested interest in the outcome. His words can shape narratives and influence decisions at the highest levels. After days of silence that felt like an eternity, Paul Heyman finally decided to speak. His statement came through in a manner that only he could deliver, with precision and impact that immediately dominated all wrestling conversations. Heyman didn't hold back in his assessment of what transpired on Raw. He called out Bron Breakker directly and questioned the reasoning behind such a cowardly ambush. According to Heyman, there is a right way and a wrong way to make a statement in this business. Attacking someone from behind without warning represents everything that is wrong with the current generation of wrestlers who claim to want respect but refuse to earn it properly. Heyman's words cut deep as he dissected every aspect of the attack. He pointed out that true competitors face their opponents head-on rather than resorting to sneak attacks that serve no purpose beyond satisfying personal ego. The legendary advocate went on to explain that in his decades of experience he has seen countless young talents make the mistake of confusing brutality with credibility. Just because you can hurt someone doesn't mean you have proven anything of value. Heyman emphasized that the great ones throughout history built their legacies through competition and excellence, not through cheap shots and ambushes. The response from Heyman also contained a warning for Bron Breakker. He made it clear that actions have consequences and that this attack would not be forgotten or forgiven easily. Heyman suggested that Breakker may have just made the biggest mistake of his career by drawing attention to himself in such a negative manner. The wrestling business has a long memory, and those who operate without honor eventually find themselves paying a price that they never anticipated. Heyman's tone indicated that he wasn't just speaking as an observer but potentially as someone with the power to influence what happens next. What makes this entire situation even more intriguing is the potential for future developments. Reed will undoubtedly want revenge for what happened to him. The attack left him not only physically hurt but also publicly embarrassed. In wrestling, that kind of humiliation demands a response. The fans are already clamoring to see Reed get his hands on Breakker in a proper match. The anticipation for that confrontation is building rapidly. Whenever these two finally collide in the ring, the atmosphere will be electric because there is genuine animosity fueling the encounter. Bron Breakker has yet to issue a full response to Heyman's statements. His silence since the verbal assault from the Advocate has been notable. Some interpret his lack of response as confidence, while others see it as uncertainty about how to handle someone with Heyman's experience and verbal skills. Breakker is physically dominant, but Heyman operates on a different level entirely. The mind games and psychological warfare that Heyman can deploy are legendary. If Breakker isn't careful, he could find himself outmaneuvered before he even realizes what's happening. The wrestling community remains divided on who is in the right here. Some fans believe that Breakker did what he needed to do to make an impact and get noticed. In a crowded roster, standing out requires bold action, and the attack certainly accomplished that goal. Others argue that there are standards and codes that should be respected regardless of ambition. The debate rages on across social media platforms, with passionate arguments being made on both sides. This division among fans only adds more fuel to an already explosive situation. Behind the scenes, there are reportedly discussions about how to handle this matter going forward. Creative teams are working to figure out the best way to capitalize on the organic interest that this situation has generated. The attack and subsequent response from Heyman have created a genuine buzz that money cannot buy. When real emotion and authentic conflict emerge in wrestling, it creates opportunities for storytelling that resonates on a deeper level with audiences. The challenge now is crafting a narrative that satisfies everyone involved while also delivering entertainment value. Paul Heyman's reputation for being a master strategist means that his involvement in this situation likely extends beyond just words. He rarely speaks without purpose, and his public statement about Breakker serves multiple functions simultaneously. On one level, it addresses the attack directly and condemns the actions. On another level, it positions certain people favorably for future storylines and opportunities. Heyman's ability to work multiple angles at once is what has kept him relevant and powerful for so many years. He understands the business better than almost anyone alive. The impact of this controversy extends to other wrestlers as well. Everyone is watching to see how this plays out because it could set precedents for how similar situations are handled in the future. If Breakker faces no consequences for his actions, it sends one message. If there is significant fallout, then it sends another. The roster is full of ambitious young talents who are looking for ways to advance their careers. The outcome of this situation will inform their decisions about what tactics are acceptable and what lines should not be crossed. Reed himself has made limited public comments since the attack. He appeared briefly after the incident, looking visibly shaken but determined. His few words indicated that he has no intention of letting this attack define his career or derail his progress. Reed promised that he would respond in due time and in the manner that he sees fit. The measured nature of his response suggests that he is thinking strategically rather than reacting emotionally. Having someone like Paul Heyman speaking on the matter certainly doesn't hurt Reed's position either. The Raw episode where the attack occurred has been analyzed frame by fans looking for additional context or hidden details. Every movement and expression has been scrutinized. Some eagle-eyed viewers claim to have spotted things that others missed. Whether these observations hold any real significance remains to be seen, but the level of engagement demonstrates how invested people are in this storyline. When fans care enough to dissect content this thoroughly, it indicates that the promotion has succeeded in capturing their attention. Looking ahead, the possibilities for where this story could go are numerous. A singles match between Breakker and Reed seems inevitable, but the journey to that match could take many forms. There could be additional confrontations and escalations before they finally face each other officially. Other parties might get involved, further complicating matters. Paul Heyman's role could expand as events unfold. The unpredictability of the situation is part of what makes it so compelling. Nobody knows exactly what will happen next, and that uncertainty keeps people tuning in week after week. The business side of wrestling often influences creative decisions, and this situation is no exception. The buzz generated by the attack and Heyman's response translates to increased interest, which can lead to higher viewership numbers. Networks and sponsors pay attention to these metrics. When something catches fire organically, the pressure increases to keep that momentum going. The challenge for those in charge is maintaining authenticity while also satisfying business objectives. Sometimes those goals align perfectly, and other times difficult choices must be made. Bron Breakker's family legacy adds another layer to this entire scenario. Coming from a lineage of wrestling legends means expectations are always sky high. Every move he makes is compared to those who came before him. The pressure to live up to that legacy while also forging his own path creates internal conflict that occasionally manifests in controversial actions. Whether the attack on Reed was a calculated career move or an emotional outburst driven by frustration remains open to interpretation. Only Breakker knows his true motivations, but the consequences of his actions will play out publicly regardless. Paul Heyman's decades of experience give him perspective that current performers lack. He has seen trends come and go. he has witnessed careers rise and fall. His understanding of what works and what doesn't is based on countless real-world examples. When he offers criticism or advice, it comes from a place of genuine knowledge rather than speculation. Whether Bron Breakker will listen to the warnings delivered by Heyman is another question entirely. Young talents sometimes need to make their own mistakes before they truly understand the wisdom being offered to them. The Raw brand has been elevated by this controversy. Compelling storylines drive interest and ratings. When viewers are emotionally invested in outcomes, they are more likely to tune in consistently. The attack and its aftermath have given Raw a signature angle that differentiates it from other programming. Competition between shows within the same company is real, and having exclusive storylines that generate buzz provides advantages in that internal competition. The success of this angle could influence how future creative decisions are made. As this situation continues to develop, all eyes remain fixed on what happens next. Will Bron Breakker respond to Paul Heyman's scathing remarks? Will Reed get his opportunity for revenge? What role will Heyman play moving forward? These questions keep fans engaged and speculating. The beauty of professional wrestling lies in its ability to blend athletic performance with dramatic storytelling. When both elements come together effectively, the results can be truly special, and this situation has all the ingredients to become something that people remember for years to come. The wrestling industry thrives on moments that transcend the scripted nature of the product. When real emotion and authentic conflict emerge, it creates magic that resonates with audiences on a visceral level. The attack on Reed and Paul Heyman's subsequent response represent exactly that kind of moment. Something genuine broke through and people responded to it immediately. The task now is nurturing that organic interest and building upon it in ways that deliver satisfying payoffs while also setting up future opportunities for everyone involved. If you've made it this far, you clearly care about what's happening in the wrestling world, and I appreciate you watching. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss any updates on this explosive situation and all the other wrestling news that matters. Hit that notification bell to stay informed about every twist and turn as this story continues to unfold, because trust me, there is so much more coming your way.